There is the 6'6", 225-pound junior goalie, Matt DeLuca. We hit on him moments ago, the communications major at Delaware, second in the CAA in goals against, second in save percentage, and first in saves per game. Ross Blumenthal makes his 6th start of his freshman campaign. He's from Baltimore, Maryland. He's taken the reins as the starting goalie as of late for the Dragons. Lens Cold against Koita for the faceoff, and it's Delaware picking it up and starting offensively. Wade Orsler picking up the ground ball off the wing, quickly turned over, and it's back to Drexel. This is a potent offense, folks. Drexel scores 12.67 goals per game. That's 17th in the nation and second in the CAA. Colin Mailman runs the show up top. Drops it off to Marshall King, who missed the last game with the flu. Turnover, Drexel. Delaware aims to clear.
Like to see Marshall changing levels on that shot on DeLuca, carrying his stick low all the way to the cage. Be a great opportunity to see if you can get DeLuca to drop to his knees. It's hard to, even if you're 6'6", it's hard to get back to the top of the cage if you change levels.
Drexel head coach Brian Volker told us on the phone earlier this week, his top key to this game is containing number 6 in the cerulean blue. That's Charlie Kitchen. He is a beast on offense. He has the ball right now. 6 in the yellow and blue. It all starts with him. If the Dragons can contain him on the defensive end, they should have success. Joe Isley with the ball, the senior, down the end line and scores. And that is Ty Kurtz, the freshman, picking up where he left off last week against Fairfield. Number 25 of the season. He's up to 40 points in his inaugural campaign.
Well, Isley just being opportunistic here. Gets his defender, just slipping underneath. Oh, pardon me, I think that's Ty Kurtz. Apologies there, Brennan. Kurtz being really slippery underneath, recognizing his matchup. And just being buttery smooth underneath there, finishing.
You got the buttery yellow colors on the Delaware Road uniforms today. Ty Kurtz coming off an impressive game last time out. He set the CAA record for points in a single game with 10. 7 goals, 3 assists. That is just unheard of by a freshman. Kurtz granted CAA Player of the Week and Rookie of the Week. First time that's been done since 2014 in the conference.
I think you're going to see more of that if Drexel's unable to give him more respect. They were really hyper-focused on Kitchen in that last play there, you know, and actually having their defender above GLE ready to slide to Kitchen early. Got to pay attention to the other guys on the Blue Hen offense.
We'll see if there are more opportunities for Kurtz in this game. Like we told you, Kitchen is the focus for the Drexel defense. Dragons trying to even the score. Reed Bowering lost his stick. The trail check, nicely done by Delaware's defense from behind. That's Matt DeLuca coming out of the cage to scrape the ball away. Austin Haynes, the long-pulled captain, helps Drexel, Delaware transition. Kitchen. Underneath, he's getting harassed right now by Sean Quinn, who is just a sophomore. He's been taking on the toughest matchup on the Drexel defense, taking on the best attackman from the opposing team. Dean DeSimone gives it up, flag comes out. Clay Miller, the freshman, has it for Delaware. 3 minutes in, 1-0 Blue Hens. Ty Kurtz, the lone goal so far, 30 on the shot clock. DeSimone surveys. Chased down by Will Stabber, the junior captain for Drexel. Isley, tough shot. How did that one go? The senior captain from Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, buries it. 2-0 lead for the Blue Hens on the road.
Well, this is a great release off of this jump shot here, and I think he caught Blumenthal off guard a little bit. Looks like he was a little frustrated, wanted that one back. Nice high-to-high shot off that jump. Very athletic play. job getting his stick and his hands up high away from his body and torquing his body and creating enough power to catch Blumenthal off guard.
The shot clock was down to beneath 20 seconds, so it wasn't like he had to get it off, but Isley makes a heck of an individual effort. Delaware on top by 2. The Blue Hens 8-2 overall. No wins against a top 20 team this year. Shot off the face-off. Chris Friedman denied by DeLuca.
Little friendly fire there, the midline.
A lot of bodies. Isley pulls away for just a moment. Then the ground ball swerves the other way to Haynes. Number 3 in the blue and yellow. He is a terrific player. 31 ground balls, 16 caused turnovers this season. All CAA preseason selection. Ground ball swiped by Matt Klingus, the captain for Drexel. Klingus keeping it. The pole fires, save DeLuca. Zach Strasner, number 47, the pole the other way for the Blue Hens. Rips it out, and now DeLuca tries to set everybody up and clear the ball. A little back and forth scrum in that last minute or so.
A little bit of chaos. Like to see the long poles handling the ball. I think great job by Austin Haynes on that previous possession to not panic, and just use his athleticism, make sure he's taking care of the ball. Be a crucial part of this game, or that, having higher quality possessions.
Haynes, a senior health science behavior major, coaching minor, set to graduate in May for Delaware. And a score in front. Nicely done by Bryce Reed, his 15th of the season. It's been all Blue Hens in these opening 5 minutes. Now 3-0 Delaware.
Great vision here by DeSimone, just finding Reed, camping out on the crease. Excellent handle and finish. Not a complicated play, right? The defense just has to pay attention to those guys. That's the most important guy off ball, the guy right in front of your cage.
Delaware up 3-0. Scoring was not a problem last week at Fairfield. 15 goals, 7 of them coming from the freshman, Ty Kurtz. We hit on this earlier. This performance you might never see again for a long time, at the very least, from a freshman. 7 goals, 3 assists to 10 points, the most in a single game in CAA history. He was just having his way all day.
Yeah, and he looks to be off to a pretty good start today as well. Enjoys that high tempo that the Blue Hens can play.
Kurtz, a Canadian for Delaware from Puslinch, Ontario. Drexel has a handful of Canadians on its attack as well. Reed Bowering, as well as Marshall King. What's the discussion, Malcolm, right now between Brian Volker, the head coach of the Dragons, and his team? How does he settle them down?
Well, I think that they're making some mental errors, right? They've got to be able to take care of the ball better. They got to get the ball to their offense and operate. They need a couple of good, solid possessions under their belt. Hopefully you score, but you at least want to get a good look on the cage. Against DeLuca, you can't just throw anything at the goal, right? You're better off just rolling it in the corner and get back and playing defense. You don't want to give him an opportunity. He's already got a couple nice saves under his belt. He's seeing the ball well. So you got to be patient. You need higher quality, as I mentioned, possessions and getting higher quality shots. That means going to work and being patient, moving the ball, being thoughtful, and taking care of the ball in transition more than anything.
Each team has 3 shots in these opening 5 minutes or so. All of Delaware's are on goal. Drexel has 2 of 3 on the goal. So out of the Drexel timeout, Delaware wins its first face-off of the day. That's a confidence booster for Ryan Shaw, who just took the face-off. He saw some action a few games ago, did not take a face-off against Fairfield. Shaw, a junior from Owings Mills, Maryland. Joe Lenskold, the sophomore, has taken most of the draws since the injury to Jake Hervada, the senior with a broken hand after 2 games. That's been really the Delaware Blue Hens' Achilles heel, possessions. That was the #1 key to this game for Ben DeLuca, the second-year head coach. So Drexel successfully clears for the first time this afternoon and sets up. There's Ryan Genord, a sophomore from Michigan. Feeds to Bowering. Now it's the lefty Mulcahy, the freshman. Spins in traffic. Bowering wide open and scores. Paints the upper corner. Drexel on the board.
This is one of the things that Bowering could do so well, just slipping underneath. Catching and firing right away before DeLuca can even really get his feet set. It's a great little slip pick underneath, very Canadian of him.
He's from Coquitlam, British Columbia, up to 29 goals. Not only leads the team, but leads the conference. You saw number 81 in yellow and blue, Owen Grant, who was a freshman on closed defense for Delaware. He sort of cheated up in that double team. Nice play by Mulcahy, the freshman, to have the awareness to flip it over to Bowering.
10 times out of 10, I'm staying with Bowering on that play. I'm worried more about him setting his feet and taking a great shot or getting a layup and being able to operate underneath. You know, with Matt DeLuca in the cage, I would always take that outside shot first.
We talked with Brian Volker on the phone earlier this week, and he admitted to us going into the season, we knew offensively we'd have to lean on Reed Bowering, Matt Varian, as well as Marshall King. And you sort of process that information and you wonder, well, that's a tall task for just 3 guys to carry your offense. And so far, so good. All but one game. The last game against UMass, Drexel has scored at least 10 goals. And they're on the board again. Ryan Genord, the sophomore, blazing by DeLuca. Fires over his shoulder. Drexel down just 1.
Well, the Dragons have found a kind of a weak spot in DeLuca's game, right? Just hitting that off-stick high corner, right? Just catching him by surprise. Difficult for any goalie to respond in that kind of range. But that's great shot placement and vision by Genord. So just being really opportunistic and taking the reins and saying, all right, it's my time to go.
What suggestion would you make to Matt DeLuca to make the adjustment?
Oh, I think he's gonna get into his guys' ear and say, just play better one-on-one defense. just flat out. I know they work on that a lot. He's gonna expect more of that, and certainly the communication, the previous goal with the little 2-man game. Just doing the little things right. He emphasized that to us in previous calls, you know, how important that is, the fundamentals to their game.
Jimmy Koita drops just his second face-off of the day, so Delaware has now won 2 of 6, and that was due to an infraction. 8 minutes to go in the opening quarter, Delaware by 1. Blue Hens scored the first 3, Drexel's responded with the last 2. Blue Hens are 1-0 in the conference, a win over Fairfield. Last time out as Kurtz is stopped by the freshman Blumenthal. Drexel is 0-1, coming off that tough loss to number 16 UMass. That ball actually nicked the post, and it was backed up by Delaware. Here's Kyle Kavinsky, the freshman, number 4. Shoots, plopped out. It's now loose in front and picked up by Drexel. Dragons push the ball upfield. Feet on the doorstep, Bowering diving. BTB feed, trickles beyond the end line. Possession to Delaware.
Yeah, Bowering had a great opportunity there. I think somebody got a piece of him, piece of his stick on the way through and kind of jarred the ball loose.
Delaware 4 for 5, clearing the ball, a solid percentage coming into this game, 87% on the season. There's Dean DeSimone. He is the cousin of former Delaware quarterback Joe Flacco. He was awfully good.
Interesting. I did not know that.
13 in the blue and gold. Of course, Joe has taken his talents from Baltimore to Denver to quarterback the Denver Broncos. Feed to Clay Miller. Whips it back now to DeSimone. Miller is doubled. The freshman is sandwiched. Kurtz is there to back him up. Feed in the front. Isley denied. Charlie Kitchen gets it, 20 to shoot. Relatively quiet so far, Charlie Kitchen. Tripped up, 10 to shoot. Tough shot, DeSimone wanders wide. It is backed up by Kitchen, now just 7 to shoot. The 6'4", 215-pound junior, tied for third in the conference in goals, tied for third in points. Ill-advised feed. It is picked off by the short stick D-midi Luke Hurley. He's number 10 in the white. Drexel has started to figure out this Delaware offense after getting off to a slow start, down 3-0 in the opening 5 minutes.
Well, as you mentioned, guys like Bowering who can put the team on their shoulders on certain plays, gave them that little bit of confidence and got the momentum rolling.
Bowering, the lefty. It was poked out by Grant. He had some assistance by Alex Bruner, the senior from Syracuse. Both ways, the defensive intensity is really picking up. You could call this a rivalry of sorts. These two campuses, Drexel and Delaware, separated by just 40 miles. Delaware crossed the river to Philadelphia to take on the Dragons. As you see, their 73rd all-time meeting. Last year, Delaware really took it to Drexel. A big win, 17-8 in the regular season finale in 2018. And then prior to that, Drexel had won 6 in a row. DeSimone receives a pick. Very tight-knit feed into Bryce Reed, who has a goal so far. Kitchen is scoreless. Kitchen, tough shot, buries it. Flags come in after the finish. Boom. He hit his target. 26th of the year for Charlie Kitchen. Gotta love the celly.
Oh yeah, I love this play from start to finish. Just phenomenal body control. You know, taking a whack on the helmet. A lot of attackmen are energized by that, knowing they're gonna draw a flag, and then he endures that that hard check across the gloves and is still able to have the wherewithal to tuck it over the goalie's head.
Look at this streak. The junior from Marlton, New Jersey, 28 straight games scoring a goal for Charlie Kitchen. That is the third longest active streak in the country. And for even more perspective, folks, he has scored now in 39 of 40 college games he's played in. Stupid numbers. Delaware at it again, this time in transition. It's Kitchen. Poked out momentarily. Drexel causes a turnover.
Looked as though he's about to add to those numbers.
No kidding. Now the Dragons try to clear the ball. Down 2 after scoring 2 in a row. Delaware scored the opening 3 goals of this one. And as you see, folks, Delaware on the man up this year, 34.5%. 10 for 29, went 1 for 1 last game against Fairfield. Drexel's man down is first in the CAA. 76%. Now we have a delayed penalty upcoming. Even strength. Drexel's man comes out. Nice delay by the Dragons. Mulcahy, the freshman, crashing in, and DeLuca pulls it out. Recovered by Matthew Varian. Shot clock has not reset. It's down to 23. You can hear the sideline right now. Drexel wants a reset on the clock. Not happening. Tough shot. Varian falling away. It's wide. DeLuca, no question, made a save, and the clock did not reset. Brian Volker commenting to hold on Ryan Shaw of Delaware. So Drexel goes man up. The penalty finally issued after the delay.
Good job by Mailman. Just maintaining possession.
Now the shot clock
Going
resets.
big with that swim move.
Drexel's man up this season, tied for first in the CAA, 11th in the country, 42%. And Delaware has been pretty good on the man down, second in the conference at 71%. Toss to the end line. Bowering back up top. Limited time left, 5 seconds in the man up. Clock stops, Bowering backs it up. The shot clock is nearing 50 seconds. Full strength on both sides. Some quick feeds, Varian, crisscrossing, save DeLuca. Kevin McCormick is drilled to the floor. The freshman from Farmingdale, New York, same hometown as the goalie, DeLuca. So after the trail check, we have even strength both sides as we approach 2 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Here's the hit.
Great save.
And the save by DeLuca.
Great physical play both ways.
Delaware is 1-0 in the conference, 8-2 overall. Drexel 0-1, 4-5 overall. It's a huge swing game, game 2 of conference play.
Well, we've seen a number of plays, and certainly plays like that where, you know, grit is going to be a factor. Right.
DeSimone to Miller.
Coach Volker, in our conversation earlier this week, you know, mentioned about after that previous match with UMass, which is always a gritty team, you know, how they would need to be carry over some of that physical attitude and tenacity to this game.
Isley soars one over the crossbar. Another jump shot attempt by the senior captain. It was backed up by Delaware. Minute 20 to go in the opening quarter. Blue Hens on top by 2. DeSimone, pass broken up by Sean Quinn. Still loose at midfield. Collected by Miller. Minute to go in the first.
Nice job by the Delaware defense to keep the ball on their side of the field.
Bryce feed, looking for Kitchen. Isley chasing it down, a foot race to the corner with George Grippo. Delaware once again winning the 50-50 ball. Charlie Malley, 22 in the white, is defending DeSimone. 8 on the shot clock. Down to 5, Kitchen. Behind the back. And we get an infraction of some sorts on the far side corner.
Yeah, they called that a ward call. I'd have to get a closer look at that one.
10 seconds for Colin Mailman and Drexel. Mailman, triple team, 2 seconds. A complete first quarter for the Delaware Blue Hens, opening a 3-0 lead in the opening 5 minutes and some solid, stout defense to close out the frame. What a first 15 minutes for Delaware. We step aside. We'll come back to Vitus Field in Philadelphia. Charlie Kitchen. It's getting hot. Stay out of the kitchen. Maybe not. We'll be back. We're at Vitus Field, second quarter. Delaware on top of Drexel, 4-2. We hit on Matt DeLuca quite a bit, Malcolm, before the game, and rightfully so. 4 saves leading the charge for this Blue Hens defense.
Well, you can just do it all first team. You know, you always have a chance, and you have him between the pipes. And you can see the big man getting down, doing the butterfly save. It looked more like a hockey save than anything. This guy may have a career in the NHL.
There might be a reason why he's a communications major, because oftentimes it is so important for communication to come from the cage to the guys in front. Outside of Austin Haynes, who is a senior closed defender for Delaware, it's a young unit in front of DeLuca. So how important is that communication from the goalie to the guys in front?
Communication is paramount. That's the first thing we're talking about at any defensive clinic that I've run across the country. Right? We're getting young players in particular comfortable talking to one another on a lacrosse field. It ties your defense together and helps you operate as one unit.
Blue Hens shooting on the right in the second quarter. Dragons on the left. Kitchen with a little more breathing room. He's playing up top as opposed to beneath the cage. From underneath, T. Simone. Why do you think Delaware makes this change now? Because we now see Kitchen on the top to the left of your screen as opposed to the bottom.
Yeah, I think they just want to take Drexel out of their comfort zone. Drexel's starting to play some pretty good clamp down defense toward the end there.
Reed, oh, what a finish. Clay Miller, the freshman, goes BTB to burn the corner. Well, they certainly made Drexel uncomfortable there. The freshman with a beautiful finish.
That's it, yeah, nifty finish there by Miller. Just slipping underneath, and I think that's really what it was about more than anything. Brandon was just giving him a different look. Go the celly from the little guy there too.
5'10", 160 pounds, his first year with the Blue Hens of Delaware. Clay Miller, former Mid-Pennsylvania Player of the Year in high school. He played in the Philly Showcase All-Star game as a senior. Hails from Mechanicsburg, PA. Blue Hens have scored 5 of the 7 goals. Delaware opened up a 3-0 lead in the first 5 minutes of the contest. Then Drexel responded with 2 straight. And since, Delaware has scored 2 more consecutively. And Bryce Reed with the beautiful feed right on the money. And for as much as we've talked about Delaware defensively, that's been the collective story over 10 games, no question about it. But back-to-back road wins at Michigan, at Fairfield, scoring 16 and 15 goals respectively. If they get the playing cage that DeLuca is capable of and they can score, that number, 12, 15 goals, dangerous team here at the CAA.
They sure are, and perhaps beyond. That's important. You've got to have your team firing on all cylinders.
Colin Mailman delivering. First of the game and 13th of the season. He didn't score any last time out at UMass.
This type of breakdown here is not gonna fly with Coach DeLuca there. That's just a lack of communication. You spoke about communication, Brendan. That's where it really matters. Working through those picks, being aware of the guys around you. Got to have your head on a swivel, not just off ball, but on ball as well. Where are those picks coming from? Great job by Drexel to capitalize off of that opportunity.
Stops the bleeding a bit too. It felt like Delaware was really imposing its will on the road for a 3rd straight game. Again, beating Michigan, beating Fairfield, and now on the road at Drexel. Nicely done by the long pole, Jack Farrell, 6-footer from Havertown, Pennsylvania. Rips the ball away off the wing. Drexel clears. So far, Jimmy Koita has won 6 of 11 faceoffs. Now Drexel sets up. Again, a top 20 scoring offense, averaging under 13 goals a game. Nick Fox to Matt Varian. Mulcahy, the freshman, dumps it to Marshall King, who is now playing beneath the cage. Again, King missed the UMass game due to illness. He is the younger brother of Jesse King, who plays for the Calgary Roughnecks in the National Lacrosse League. King with a rip and a save to Luca. That's number 5. This is fun stuff when he has the confidence to jolt 20 yards out of the goal and help clear the ball for his team.
20 yards is only about 3 steps for DeLuca.
6'6", 225 pounds.
Excellent off-stick save there. He makes it look so routine.
And for those wondering, he's only a junior. Still has another year wearing the blue and gold. Yellow. Take your pick. I guess Drexel's the gold. 3.5 minutes gone by, second quarter. You're watching the CAA Game of the Week on Lax Sports Network. Game number 2 of conference play for Delaware and Drexel. Blue Hens are 1-0. Dragons are 0-1. Nice shot from outside. Bryce Reed with the blast from distance. And Delaware doubles Drexel 6-3.
Well, Reed's feeling it right now. This is almost too easy. I think he's even surprised by the time and room he gets off of this play. Just making a nifty cut off of the top. Drexel had some matchup issues there. Reed's just too good of a shooter to not score from that position.
It also
Excellent
proves
overhand rep, great follow through, great technique all around.
It also proves that Charlie Kitchen has such an impact on the offense, even when he isn't scoring, because of the attention he draws. And like you said, plenty of room for Reed to bury that shot.
Sure.
Kitchen so far with a goal and an assist. Delaware controls possession. And for Bryce Reed, back-to-back games with a multi-goal performance. He scored 2 in that 15-7 win at Fairfield. Kyle Kavinsky, freshman, puts the defender on the ground. Jackson Finnegan getting some run, number 2 in the yellow and blue up top. He's a senior from Concord, Massachusetts. Finnegan scores! On the run, his second goal of the season. Finishing on the move.
Well, just too much heat for Blumenthal here. Then again, just gets a full head of steam. It's a great look at the cage. The slide's late. Excellent pace on the ball. Just it's too tight to the cage for most goalies to even react, right? At that point, you're really just hoping to get hit by the ball more than actually save it.
Koita against Lenscold. Koita, a junior, Lenscold, the sophomore. Koita wins this one. Each team with 6 face-off wins apiece.
Much needed win there for Drexel. Try to stop the bleeding here. And so far, they've really prevented a meaningful run. Delaware had that 3-0 run in the beginning there. You know, we thought maybe they could run away with it in the first quarter. And Drexel had the answer. They need a nice possession, a nice shot on goal.
Yeah, since Drexel whittled the deficit to 1 when it was 3-2, Delaware has scored 4 of the game's last 5 goals. Varian, tight window, on the run. King, twister shot, is missiled wide. It's backed up by Varian, the junior, who is top 10 in the CAA in assists and scoring. Preseason CAA selection.
Great handle by King in there.
Feeds Varian, who had to leap up and try to reel that ball in.
Let's go for the alley-oop pass there.
Austin Haynes was ready for it, the senior defender for Delaware, who is a captain for this squad, not fooled. And with a 4-goal lead, the largest of the game for the Blue Hens, they'll settle down and look for a high percentage look. Kitchen has dropped underneath the end line. Kavinsky to Finnegan, who scored a moment ago, enrolled in the MBA program at Delaware, studying finance. Picked off by Sean Quinn, the sophomore from Summit, New Jersey. Having an excellent sophomore campaign. No sophomore slump for him. 28 ground balls and a team best 20 caused turnovers. Isley steals it, and the shot is just a tick wide. Blumenthal almost caught off guard there.
They dodged a bullet there. You got to take better care of the ball here. Long pull should not, we're in a 10-man. Long pull should not be dodging their man one-on-one. Right.
Matt Klingus, a senior, knows better for Drexel.
Keep that stick. on the defensive side of your body. Right? Just tell my defender, roll away is your best friend, right? And just keep moving backwards as long as you keep that stick back away from an attackman.
Dragons haven't scored in 5 minutes of gameplay. Nick Fox getting pushed around by Jason Sider, 23 in blue and yellow. Feed upstairs, shot off the post. Nice look for Genord, who scored back in the first. Scrum for the ground ball. Love to see the offensive guys get in there like Isley and Kitchen for Delaware. Now it's Bowering who flips it out. Nick Fox has little room to breathe. We're midway through the second quarter. Delaware leads by 4.
Great back check by the Blue Hens there, preventing that transition opportunity for Fox.
Of Drexel's 6 turnovers, 4 have been caused by the Blue Hens defense. And there is Austin Haynes, who leads that unit. Senior from Morristown, New Jersey. 8th in the conference in ground balls. Team leader in caused turnovers with 16.
Too early for the Dragons to push the panic button here, right? Managed to get that ball back after that big fight up at the midline. Value the ball a little bit more in this situation. They need good looks.
Dean DeSimone with the ball for Delaware. The Blue Hens 8-2 overall. Shot on the move. Sails wide. Bryce Reed bidding for a hat trick. Business management major at Delaware. There was a flag on the play.
Charlie Molly, I believe, with a push. I'm going to qualify that as a good penalty.
Why?
And the reason why, because he managed to send that shot wide. You saw how close. I mean, that was inches off of the pipe here.
Yeah, you're talking an inch or two.
So would you take a 30-second penalty or take a goal against?
Right, go down 5 or trust your man down defense. Drexel so far has held Delaware 0 for 1 on the man up. And a score from distance. A man up goal. Charlie Kitchen.
Kitchen doesn't matter.
He's full of celebrations already on the road today.
I don't know where the rotation's just laid up to Kitchen. That's just the guy you got to get to, right?
Well, he's been so willing to give up the ball.
Right.
Perhaps you're worried about Ty Kurtz, number 82 up top, when you look at the week he had last time out at Fairfield, scoring 7 goals, 3 points, 3 assists, 10 points total. Drexel's getting possession, which is a strong suit. Jimmy Koita, 6th in the conference in face-off percentage coming in. And we get a timeout taken by Brian Volker, and the Dragons will step aside under 6 to go in the first half. Delaware separating from Drexel. Largest lead of the game is 5. You're watching the CAA Game of the Week on Lax Sports Network. Brian Volker just took his 2nd timeout of the first half for Drexel. Well, Coach Volker spent several years at Penn from 2003 to 2009, and since taking over here with the Dragons, he's had some success, 78 wins to 66 losses, missing the CAA tournament last year, trying to get his group back there. Right now, Drexel at 4-5. Last year they went 5-8, so just 1 win away from matching last year's total. What? You mentioned it a moment ago, we were talking off air there a moment ago, Drexel sort of rushed that shot, or rather let too much room open up for Delaware to score very easily on the man up. Offensively now for the Dragons, what is the key for them to get back in this game?
You know, I think they've really got to, stick together, right? That not try to take over the game individually, still continue to share the ball. They've had some pretty good looks inside that haven't panned out because they're facing a great goalie.
Bowering had that shot chipped from behind. Nice trail check by the Delaware midfield.
You're not going to be able to count on 21 for the rest of the game, right? You got to create opportunities for him to do things like that and not just count on that. I like that they're shooting the ball now. Again, stick together, play good team ball, both ends of the field, and continue to stay gritty, right? Outwork the Blue Hens. Make them earn this. This is far from over.
Skip feed, shot Marshall King. It trickles off to the left of DeLuca, backed up by the freshman defender from Newmarket, Ontario, Owen Grant, who made his 3rd start of the season in 4 games played. He was the 7th overall pick 3 years ago by the Toronto Beaches. That is a squad part of the Ontario Junior A Lacrosse League. He was the Beaches Rookie of the Year in 2017, so another talented Canadian in this game. We talk so much about the Canadian presence on the attack for Drexel. Delaware has its fair share of midfielders and defensemen that come from north of the border. Charlie Kitchen operating beneath the cage. He's got 2 goals today, 1 on the man up. So he's now up to 27 goals. He's got the 3rd longest active streak in the country as far as goal streak. Isley nicks the post. That was a missile and a nice find by Kitchen. Ground ball corralled by Bowering. Hits King in front. Down on the doorstep. Varian is checked. There's a flag down on DeSimone. Delaware is going to go a man down. Right there, DeSimone with the hit on Matthew Varian. What do you think?
Well, there was a major point of contention with the Rules Committee years ago, talking about a player turning at the last second and making what would be a legal body check into an illegal body check. And I don't think the conversation has changed a whole lot. On the doorstep in a game, much as the refs, I think, try to be unbiased or not use discretion with respect to the score, I think that plays a factor. The location and also the situation on the field.
Drexel trying to get its top man-up percentage going. Entering this game, 42%. So far, 0 for 2 against Delaware. Some nice ball movement. Varian the jump shot. Off the pass from Chris McLellan. Matthew Varian with his 17th of the season, 5th on the man-up.
Much needed goal by the Dragons here. Great execution. Really stretching the Delaware defense wide with that set, right? Creating a lot of room, forcing them to chase high and wide. Just giving Varian a lot of time on that back door.
And you said it a moment ago, it can't be the Reed Bowering show in this circumstance because that system or that plan of attack is too predictable. In that case, Bowering, to your point, stretched the field, hit King. King went to McLellan, and Matthew Varian gets involved on the scoring. Perhaps the spark plug Drexel needs offensively. That halts a 3-0 run by Delaware. So we have under 4 minutes, approaching the 3.5-minute marker of this second quarter. Delaware relatively in complete control of this first half, offensively and defensively. Blue Hens trying to advance to 2-0 in the conference. If they do that, it would be 2 wins on the road at Fairfield and today at Drexel. And meanwhile, the Drexel Dragons are at home for the next 2. Today against Delaware, next Saturday against Fairfield. Trying to go to 1-1 after a loss at UMass. Clay Miller, 26 in the blue and yellow, had the beautiful BTB finish, and there is a finish from up top. Charlie Kitchen has another celebration for you, people. He has a hat trick.
I was just going to mention how it was, I thought Quinn was doing a nice job, and Quinn has to slip off of Kitchen here to be a part of the slide package. And Kitchen just very craftily floats all the way up to the top side of the defense. We've seen him score from there already today.
Oh, that is tough for the freshman of Drexel, Charlie Malley. He just had to soak in that celly from Charlie Kitchen.
He's running out of celebrations.
Charlie Kitchen now has 5 hat tricks on the season. Last year, in 14 games, he had 5 hat tricks. Delaware still has 3 games to go after today. So you put that in perspective. Impressive. You wonder, how does he improve, or how does he match his dominance from last year? Kitchen scored 37 goals to lead the conference. With this performance so far today, he's up to 28. On pace to beat that. Varian scores again. Back-to-back G's for the junior from Island Park, New York, on the Drexel side. And once again, the deficit is 4 for the Dragons of Drexel.
Oh, Varian once again kind of peeling up from that right-hand side. Before we saw a little jump shot. This time he just gives DeLuca just a little pump fake, and he's bringing it back to that near side. Actually DeLuca's side, but he's getting him just to come off of that pipe. DeLuca bought the off-stick low shot, which opened up that near side for Varian. Great shot selection, both of the previous plays.
Impressive stat, at least 2 points in every game this season. Varian also entered this contest 3rd on the team in ground balls with 22. An attackman that helps out in the midfield and also off the ball. Jimmy Coita has found some momentum at the face-off dot. We have a flag. Drexel might go man up for the 4th time. Coita trying to score due to that delayed penalty. Why not give it a shot?
I appreciate the effort on the attempted dive.
There's a but coming here.
But great job drawing the flag and not freaking out. Delaware was in a locked off situation there. They think Coita's a liability. And Coita did a nice job maintaining his composure, drawing that flag. Why not go for it? Those face-off guys, those sticks though, they're so mangled. It's tough to execute plays like that require a lot of precision.
4th time today, Drexel heads to the man up. 1 for 3 in the game. The penalty against the opposing face-off man of Coita. And a score in front. Easily done on the doorstep by Reed Bowering. 2nd tally of the contest for the junior from Coquitlam, British Columbia, and Drexel is within 3.
Oh, the man up is really capitalizing today, and I think again that kind of speaks to the patience that I'm recommending for the Dragons to continue to chip away in this game. Just staying patient. Again, getting to dangerous positions on the field, drawing flags. And I'm sure they were told, you can't just shoot on DeLuca, right? You gotta move him either across the cage, or you gotta fake him and change levels or sides of the cage. And they're doing that well. They're executing that part of the game plan.
Start your lacrosse Saturdays with LSN College Central on Lax Sports Network. It begins at 11:30 a.m. Eastern every week, and we'll get you ready for all the biggest games of the weekend from around the country. Don't let your game day begin without checking out LSN College Central, only on Lax Sports Network. With Malcolm Chase, I'm Brendan Glasheen. Thanks for joining us for the CAA Game of the Week. It's game number 2 in conference play for Delaware and Drexel. The Blue Hens of Delaware 1-0, the Dragons of Drexel 0-1. We have under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Delaware's Ben DeLuca just took his first time out of the contest so far. This vibe right now we're starting to see very similar to the beginning of the game. Delaware went on a 3-0 run. Drexel responds thanks to a penalty with 2 straight. Dragons are now 2 for 4 on the man up. If it's Delaware now, a road team here again, how do the Blue Hens settle down and finish the half strong?
I think it always boils down to the little things, right? You're not trying to make it all up in one play. Delaware still decent lead, right?
Sure.
Despite a couple of breakdowns. They can't take silly penalties, right? We established there are good penalties and bad penalties. Try to eliminate all of them if you can. But also, give the big man some help, right? He shouldn't be facing these shots on the doorstep where guys are pump faking him once or twice. You got to play defense from the inside out. Force Drexel to take outside shots. He'll start making saves again.
Matt DeLuca on your screen a moment ago, the goalie for Delaware, entered the contest. Top 10 in the country in goals against average, 5th. 3rd in the country in save percentage. 8th in the country in saves per game, just under 14 per. This Delaware defense altogether as a unit, 8.6 goals allowed per game. That's 5th most in the nation. And we have an infraction after the face-off. We'll hear from our crew. Liam Mully, who is a freshman, the backup face-off man to Jimmy Koita, called for that trail check. Yeah, he drills.
Get that hand on his back. That's an easy one.
Drills Jason Sider, a fellow freshman, to the ground. Delaware on the man up for the 2nd time today. Charlie Kitchen has scored a man-up goal in this one. Only 9 seconds remain in the chance. Nice feed by George Ward. Whips it around to Isley. Kurtz, skip feed in front.
Deflection there. I saw Kitchen slipping off the backside there on that play. That sneak wasn't there. There was one more to Kitchen. They always got to be aware of him.
Delaware takes a timeout with 1:11 to work with in the first half. 42 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, it's a good timeout here. Chance for Coach DeLuca to have them run a set play, primary and secondary look, and then also to give them a contingency for the end of the game, right? With 42 seconds on and not a guaranteed reset, they got to be prepared for what happens. Drexel's obviously going to try and put one more on the board if they get a possession, right? They're going to the hoop. So Delaware needs to make sure they get back in, get settled in, matched up, and don't give up any gimme goals.
Don't go away when this first half concludes. We have the Lacrosse Now halftime show. Highlights of the 15 goals we've seen so far. Even the 8 saves, 5 by Matt DeLuca. And we'll get a check of out-of-town scores, particularly in the CAA. Right now, Towson is well in front of Fairfield. Right now, the talk of the conference, who is the team to beat, Towson or UMass, the reigning champ? And speaking of UMass, taking on Hofstra. Just a 1-goal game at the end of the first quarter. Earlier today, an 11 a.m. Eastern start. Pat Spencer and Loyola just completely pulverizing number 14 Lehigh. We had the game on before we got in the booth here, set for this one. I mean, geez, that Loyola team, they're awfully good, no question. And of course, plenty of action going on around the day. Notre Dame and Duke head to head. So out of the timeout by Ben DeLuca. Delaware is ahead by 3. Blue Hens are 1-0 in the league. Drexel is 0-1. And Delaware on the road for a 4th straight game, trying to come out of this road trip, if you will. This trip to Drexel was only 40 miles across the river. Aiming to come out 3-1. Less than a minute to go. Even strength on both sides. Isley, who got the scoring started for Delaware. Isley, shot, score. Bottom corner for the senior. And number 2 of the game. Joe Isley puts Delaware up 10-6. Making it look easy, Malcolm.
Delaware's got some sharpshooters. Isley's no exception. Great poise. Absorbing a chunk out of his defender at the top. And then just putting on the boosters underneath. Bringing that stick back across his body and having the great vision all the way through. He's not too worried about the slide, and I think that's where Drexel might have to exert a little bit more of that physical play on that initial slide. Get the ball out of their sticks. These guys are a little bit too comfortable shooting the ball that close to the cage.
Koita wins the faceoff. He's now 10 of 18. Mulcahy, the freshman, 5 in white. Marshall King wasn't expecting the pass. Drexel can hold for the final shot of this second quarter. Bowering backing down the freshman, Owen Grant. Some breathing room. Shot. DeLuca may have gotten a piece. Either way, it's backed up by Varian. 9 seconds on the game clock. Mulcahy diving. Flag is in. DeLuca scooped it up with 2.1 on the clock.
No.
Today's officials in this one, Michael Hidfee, Jeffrey Holman, Christopher DeFelice, and we get note of a penalty. It is a push from behind against Wade Auersler. 30 minutes in the books. Delaware with almost a complete first half, up 10-6 on the Drexel Dragons on the road. Delaware hoping for a 2-0 start in the league, and Drexel trying to improve its record to 1-1. One of the highlights of this one, the feed from Reed, the finish over the back by Clay Miller, the freshman. Delaware by 4 at the half in the CAA Game of the Week on Lax Sports Network. Delaware with 6 different goal scorers to tally up the 10 goals. Drexel's got 2 goals out of Matthew Varian, 2 goals from Reed Bowering. Mailman and Genord with a goal apiece as well. Drexel still on the man up. That bleeds from the second quarter into the third. In front and a score. Genord with his second of the day. Drexel within 3.
Well, this man-up unit is functioning like a well-oiled machine today, and they've capitalized quite a bit. And this one looks almost exactly how they must have drawn it up. Genord is just wide open there, off of that down cut. Excellent placement. Beat DeLuca. Off stick side. And it gives them a little bit of juice here in the second half, right? Time to get going. They needed that.
Delaware's largest lead of this contest, 5 goals. It was 8-3 with 6 minutes left in the second quarter. Genord from Grand Blanc, Michigan, just a sophomore. He played both lacrosse and ice hockey in high school. Nick Fox upfield, 7 in white. His twin brother is Nolan Fox, who is an LSM for Drexel. Not only are they twins, but they both study the same major, biological science. And on the roster sheet, Nick Fox is listed at 5'11", Nolan Fox is at 5'10", so I'm sure there is bickering in the Fox household about that 1 inch. Here's Nick, missling one wide. Backed up first by Drexel.
They couldn't have lied in the program, you know, giving them spot him an inch.
I mean, you got to think there's a vote from the Drexel athletic department to give Nick that extra inch. I'm sure that was not handled well by Nolan. Nick Fox once more fires.
Teams are known to embellish their height and weight on the roster.
No kidding. When I saw that, they're twin brothers, and one has an extra inch over the other. Nick is 5'11", Nolan is 5'10". I couldn't believe that, how they allowed that. Maybe they did rock, paper, scissors or something. Drexel just scored on the man up. 3-goal game. Varian twisting around. And we get an infraction, crease violation in front.
Yeah, Austin Haynes, too strong. He's just not going to allow that move underneath there. It's actually quietly had an impact on this game. He's forced a number of turnovers and made some great plays, picked up a number of ground balls for Delaware. Guys like that who kind of quietly contribute, make a difference down the stretch.
Haynes has 2 ground balls and a caused turnover in action so far today. The senior from Morristown, New Jersey, is a captain for this Delaware defense. Came into the game with 16 caused turnovers to lead the squad. Kitchen missiles one over the crossbar. He had a hat trick in the first half. Very curious to see what might be up his sleeve in the celebration department.
He loves that turnaround shot, right? Driving directly north upfield.
Isley contested, blistered off his stick. Sean Quinn with the hustle. The sophomore, number 43, but he was beat out by Ty Kurtz.
Ty just dove at the last second there to gain possession.
Shot clock 50 seconds deep, so 29 reads on the scoreboard. Kitchen has the ball. We were told by Brian Volker before the game, Sean Quinn is going to defend him most of the game. 43 in the white. Kitchen on the double. Pass intended for Reed. Pouncing around, it's grabbed by Clay Miller. Now 10 on the shot clock. Miller to the middle for Reed. Sails over his head. And on the turnover, despite the shot clock running out, possession goes to Drexel. Cam Harris, the captain, in short stick D-Midi. Over the timeline to Hurley. So there's a victory right there for Drexel. You force a full 80 seconds to go by. Nothing doing for Delaware offensively. Down 3 with the ball.
Sure, and the Poles for Drexel did a nice job first on Kitchen, out of Quinn, doing a job gluing his hands, and then applying pressure up top.
Outside shot for Mailman was deflected. Now it's Haynes, the pole. Clears successfully for Delaware. Kitchen underneath. Feeds upstairs, DeSimone. Haynes still on the field to Isley. Deflected. Haynes leaping. Kitchen. Now it's Kurtz. Dodging left. Kitchen stops on the brakes. DeSimone and Reed out on the field, also Miller, so Haynes has left the field for the Blue Hens, trying to go to 2-0 in the conference.
Love seeing Haynes down there on the offensive end, making some plays.
0 points on the season, but certainly makes an impact. Infraction against the Blue Hens. Once again, Drexel catches a break on offense. Chris McClellan helps him clear. The junior from Vienna, Virginia. A flag down. Delayed penalty. Can the Dragons capitalize? Bowering, one-on-one. Counted.
Snuck another one there.
Scores. Hat trick for Reed Bowering, up to 31 goals this season. That is tops in the CAA. As a result, the penalty is waived off.
Bowering's just so strong underneath, and you got a short stick. You got to know he's going to go for it, right? Especially that flag down situation. Just a tough, big body to move. You watch Thomas Alla just bouncing off him on that slide. That might have something to do with the timing.
Make it 7 games this year for the junior from British Columbia with a hat trick. Reed Bowering also entered this game with a 20-game goal streak. That is up to 21. Entering the contest, that was the 6th longest streak in the country. We spoke on Charlie Kitchen's streak, which was 3rd best in the country at 27 straight games, which dates back to 2017. He accomplished that feat today. And what do you know, the two most talented, arguably offensive players on either side, Kitchen for Delaware, Bowering for Drexel, each has a hat trick. So there was indeed a penalty issued here. There was a 1-minute slash against the Delaware Blue Hens. So Drexel on the man up for the 5th time today. Owen Grant, the penalizer. Strasner and Haynes, the two close D guys. In on Varian. Kicks it out. King fires wide. "20 seconds to go in the man up. Drexel's still weaving it around, trying to cut the deficit to 1. Dragons have scored the first 2 goals of this second half. Bowering, mailman, gets rid of it. King in front. Haynes broken up. And now both squads are at full strength. It's pretty good defense by Delaware.
Yeah, that was a tough feed to thread in there. I like the idea. Just a little too tight. Delaware just doing a nice job of getting the sticks in the way to confuse the issue.
Make it 6 caused turnovers by this Delaware defense. They came into this one averaging 8.9 a game, which is second best in the CAA. Dragons are 0-1 in the league, trying to even the record. You only play 5 conference games, so this second one, if you're an 0-1 team, is so crucial. Because then you really put yourselves against the wall with an 0-2 start. Nice dodging by DeSimone. Outlets, Isley opens, shoots, bouncer wide. Isley slippery off the ball, creating a lot of space.
Yeah, that was great look through by DeSimone.
The senior DeSimone rolls off of Kitchen. 20 on the shot clock for Delaware. Klingus and Quinn, the pressure. Shot on the run, trickles in front, still bouncing.
They traded a ward for a hold on that last one. I think the rest used a little bit of discretion. Kind of a ward and kind of a hold. They let it go.
Got to give a lot of credit to the freshman from Baltimore, Maryland, the goalie for Drexel, Ross Blumenthal, policing the cage, has relaxed a little bit. Going down early was not a good feeling, but keeping his squad in there, down just 2. Still no goals for Delaware in the second half, and we're more than midway through the quarter. This Drexel team has scored more than 10 goals in every game but 1. That was last time out at number 16 UMass. We get a turnover caused again. Number 7 of the contest for the Delaware Blue Hens.
The athletic play by Jason Sider there. Forces man to tiptoe the end line and just touch out.
Sider, a freshman from Bethpage, New York. 6:40 left, third quarter. CAA game of the week on Lax Sports Network. Delaware makes the trip across the bridge to take on the Drexel Dragons. Isley has a hat trick. Delaware's first tally of the second half belongs to the senior captain.
This is beautiful team ball, right? Initiated by 2-man game. The top of the box here. Just doing such a great job to draw and give Isley all that time in front of the cage. Isley just doing a nice job catching, getting rid of the ball quickly. He really had the easiest role in the whole play. Certainly the most important.
Isley's 23 goals, third on the team, behind Kitchen and Ty Kurtz. 22 in the blue and yellow. We previewed this contest Just before it got started at 1 Eastern, the collision course of Delaware's defense and Drexel's offense. Well, I don't know about you. I'm not taking anything away from Matt DeLuca, but the Delaware offense has come to play, and Drexel defensively has at least honed in Delaware in bits and pieces here in the third quarter. Shot score, Clay Miller. He doesn't need BTB this time. Great team ball again, Malcolm. 2 in a row for the Blue Hens.
Well, this speaks to all that attention you mentioned that Kitchen's able to draw. I think they got to trust this matchup more and really pay attention to the guys off ball. Kitchen had, proving himself an excellent feeder as well. But credit to Clay Miller there, just hanging out on the back door. Getting some easy looks in the second quarter, or second half rather. Drexel's got to, I think they got to start to trust that matchup more. Resist the urge to go to Kitchen so early, because now he's just looking for that next pass or 2-pass look on the goal, and they're finding it.
What an exciting time to be a freshman at Delaware like Clay Miller or Ty Kurtz, when Ben DeLuca is recruiting you and he says, well, we've got probably the best, one of the best attackmen in the conference. He's just going to make it better. And so far, Kitchen, 3 goals, 2 assists. Miller's buried 2. Kurtz had the game's first goal. 5.5 minutes to go in the third. Delaware had its lead shrinked to 2 goals. Now it's back up to 4, like it was at halftime. Blue Hens are at home against Hofstra next week, and Drexel is home against Fairfield in week 3 of conference play. Kavinsky missiles it over the crossbar. Nice blast from the freshman from Virginia at 6'2", 200.
But yeah, big, tall, strong midfielder. You can let that shot go lefty. That's an asset.
Kitchen with 5 points on the day, draws a double. Feed to the middle. George Ward is held off by Blumenthal. Backed up by Isley.
Switch Quinn back to Kitchen. Again, trust that matchup. Resist the urge to slide to Kitchen.
Isley down to a knee. Shot clock reset. Giveaway by the Blue Hens. And the short stick, Cam Harris patiently tiptoes across the timeline and slows it down for Drexel. The Dragons' last goal in this quarter was almost 6 minutes ago. That was Reed Bowering completing a hat trick. Harris, the shorty, outlets to King. Nick Fox, dishing to Varian. Shot clock halfway gone. It is Bowering, rather, to Mailman. Oh, Mailman puts a stamp on that finish to make it 12-9.
Oh, this is a gritty possession for sure. Starts off with a lot of physical contact. Initiated by each Dodger. And you saw that early slide to Bowering now, when they have that short stick who ends up rotating down as a result of that slide package. And then they're going early again to Bowering, and that frees up his buddy, Ryan Genord.
And my apologies, Ryan Genord, the sophomore, with the beautiful outside touch to make it 12-9, just a 3-goal lead now for Delaware. Steven Tortora with some help on the wing. 5'10" senior from Fairfield, Connecticut. 42 in the blue and yellow. As Malcolm mentioned, Reed Bowering with the assist. That's his first of the day, and rarely do we see Bowering tally assists, just his 4th of the season. So he's got 4 points, now up to 35 for the season. through 10 games. Clay Miller. Whistles a pass over the top to Isley. Now DeSimone. He draws pressure from Friedman. Switches off with the pole, Jack Farrell. Delaware has been a road warrior team playing in its 4th straight road game. Coming off that 15-7 win over Fairfield to go to 1-0 in the conference. 10 to shoot. Isley and Kurtz there for the backup. 9 on the shot clock.
Drexel playing great team defense there on that possession. Sliding early, recovering quickly.
Now the time is being corrected. Kurtz was just tracking down the ball. Repositioned, now the shot clock winds down, 9 seconds. In front, Kitchen, hero shot. Nice pressure and defense by Blumenthal.
Great job by Quinn there to glue Kitchen's hands and mitigate that shot that Kitchen loves so much, that turnaround overhand shot, where he essentially uses the defender as a screen. And Quinn played it perfectly. If he can continue to flush Kitchen away from what I refer to as the edge of the front porch, right at goal line extended, where he can either go over the top or inside roll, or taking away that inside roll option and flushing him into the wing.
Perry and nowhere to go. This Delaware defense can be very gritty. Top 5 goals against average in the country at 8.6 allowed per game. Nick Fox trips himself up. We have 90 seconds to go in the 3rd. Fox, bounce shot, save DeLuca. That's number 9 of the afternoon. Jason Sider clears the ball for the Blue Hens.
Well, Fox is pretty spent after that physical possession on the other end, and now having a sprint back in the hole. If Sider could get a go against them, I think it would be an interesting look.
Miller sets the screen. DeSimone the feed, and Reed blasts this one wide. If you look at the difference, shot clock and game clock, Delaware can just about hold for the final shot of this 3rd quarter. You had a thought?
I'm surprised he missed the goal there. He scored several from that range already. I think he rushed it a little bit. More time than he might have thought.
In total this afternoon, 4 hat tricks. Bowering and Genord for Drexel. Kitchen and Isley for Delaware. Bryce Reed, who just took that shot, is 1 goal away from a hat trick. He has 2. Kitchen. Miller defended tightly by the pole. Tight feed. Kurtz spins, and the bounce shot skips wide. Still 7 to shoot here.
These defenders are selling out here for Drexel, doing everything they can to prevent those quality shots.
Kitchen in a hurry. 3 seconds. Fires. Deflects off the helmet of Hurley. 6 seconds to work with. Ground ball collected momentarily by DeSimone. 3 seconds to work with. Nick Fox must fire. Didn't get it off. 45 minutes in the books. Delaware clings to a 3-goal lead. Drexel with some early noise in the frame. We make the turn for home. 4th quarter upcoming. Can Delaware go to 2-0? Can Drexel even the record to 1-1? Find out with us on Lax Sports Network. Start of the 4th quarter, Delaware leads Drexel 12-9. CAA Game of the Week on Lax Sports Network. Brendan Glasheen and Malcolm Chase. Charlie Kitchen's had his fair share of chances today. 3 goals, 2 assists. Limited to a facilitator role, Malcolm. You were very impressed with Sean Quinn's defense in the in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I think Quinn's starting to do a better job and kind of stiffen out Kitchen's primary looks. Not that Kitchen can't ad-lib, but mentioned a little bit Drexel's got to contend to put their faith in Quinn. You know, Kitchen's so dangerous off ball there. You see him just being able to slip off ball. Quinn's got to stay hyper-focused on that guy. Let's take him out of the game plan, see how Delaware functions without him in the package.
Yeah, again, Kitchen's 3 goals all in the first half, no goals in the second half. He did have an assist on the Clay Miller finish to put Delaware up 12-8. The largest lead in this one was 8-3. That was the Blue Hens on top in the second quarter. Drexel whittled into the deficit in the third. Desperate quarter here for Drexel. 0-1 in the conference. Cam Harris, the feed to the doorstep, and Varian has a hat trick. Shorty to the attackman. And what a spark for the Dragons of Drexel to begin the final quarter.
Started at the face-off. Haynes was putting such great pressure on Koita. Looks like it was going to go Delaware's way. But Cam Harris is an absolute speed demon. And eventually you got to slide to him when he gets under, you know, within 10 yards of your goal. You got to pay him some respect. And great look through the defense in that tight window there by Harris. Variance, money in the bank from that position on the field.
No doubt. Right on the doorstep and right on the mat. Puts it in. Drexel within 2. In the opening 20 seconds of the frame. Second assist of Cam Harris's senior campaign. On the wing, it's the Pole, Jack Farrell, helping out Koita. And Koita needs all the help he can get because we've hit on Austin Haynes quite a bit. Just a big presence, a lot of, he's a heavy presence as far as what he's able to do to disrupt the wings on the faceoff. Mailman underneath to Varian. 3 goals in the contest. Can he make it 4? Off the post in front. Secured by Auersler, the sophomore from Lutherville, Maryland. He clears successfully to tie Kurtz. To Kitchen. Isley finishes. Tic-tac-toe, Delaware back up 3. Terrific transition.
Nice shot by Sider on the other end, just getting hammered in front of the cage. Multiple players and able to spark this transition. Staying strong, maintaining possession, and then, as you mentioned, tic-tac-toe on the other end. It's just great touch passing. Those Delaware attackmen have great hands in front of the cage, able to execute plays in those tight spaces.
Eerily reminiscent of the UMass Minutemen and what that team has been able to do. Scoring in transition, probably, you could argue, probably one of the top 10 teams in the country at doing that. And Delaware pulls it off tremendously. Halts that Drexel momentum after Varian scored.
Those transition plays, higher percentage scoring opportunities, right? Those chaotic broken plays and transition plays where the defense isn't in and set and communicating. Got to take advantage.
Marshall King coming off illness, missing the UMass game. He's been neutralized. Save DeLuca as King fires. Escapes the cage momentarily. There's Haynes. Throws it to Strasner. Up the field to Shaw, getting bullied along the sideline. And he chokes it up. Not giving up on the play, the Drexel Dragons.
The Delaware Blue Hen long poles have a pretty good handle, but when you're subbing box side and you're trying to clear in front of the box, you run a high risk. And Austin Hayes worked so hard in that previous play to maintain possession. I think they got to settle down a little bit and look up and over the top. Stay away from that box.
And to elaborate on your point a moment ago, talking to Ben DeLuca, the head coach of Delaware, asking him about the keys to this game, and when he looks at Drexel, he said it, in transition. We have to push broken situations to throw those guys off guard. Mailman to King, swings to Bowering. Sails wide.
Great ball movement. Looked like a man-up play there. They're moving the ball so well.
No kidding. Feels like Marshall King has served as a decoy for much of this contest. Coming in, despite missing last game, King, 31 points, 15 goals, 16 assists. King deflected, almost on the board. Back-to-back saves by DeLuca. Jarring in front. Guess who? Austin Haynes in there again. You see DeLuca is into double-digit saves again this year. Still loose, all the way to Mailman. Can he deliver? Wide. How in the world did that ball end up in his stick? And we get a timeout taken by the Drexel Dragons. 13-10 is our score. Can Delaware hold on and go to 2-0 in the conference? Drexel needs a rally here in these final 11:32. Stick with us for the CAA Game of the Week on Lax Sports Network. Welcome back to sunny Philadelphia. Vitus Field, the site for Delaware and Drexel. Blue Hens up by 3 on the Dragons. Brendan Glasheen with Malcolm Chase. We appreciate you joining us today. Right now, as it currently sits on the landscape this afternoon, all 3 1-0 teams in the CAA, UMass, Towson, and Delaware, in position to go to 2-0. All 3 games in the fourth quarter. Towson by 8, UMass by 2. You got to admire Seth Tierney and the Hofstra Pride. It's been a tough year, all in all, but defensively, the Pride continue to battle, staying in games. We'll see if Seth Tierney's squad can pull that one out at home against the Minutemen.
I think given the offensive landscape in Division I, holding any team to close to 10 goals or under 10 goals is impressive unto itself.
Mulcahy, the freshman, bodied by Strasner. Drexel hangs on, still 40 on the shot clock for Nick Fox. Tough shot, nearly trickles in, the shovel! It goes for Bowering! And we don't get a goal. Very close.
That was an awesome play that didn't result in a goal.
Let's see it again.
He just tiptoes the crease here. I don't know, Brandon. I think he stayed out. I think he kept that right foot out.
Could be a huge turn in this game, especially if Delaware scores on this possession. Largest lead for the Blue Hens was 5. They've been up by 4 numerous times in the contest. Bryce Reed to Clay Miller. D. Simone is 13. Ty Kurtz, 82. Kitchen is underneath the goal. Isley in front, 22 in the gold and blue. Kurtz, the shovel to Kitchen. Kurtz, one-on-one, buries it. Delaware capitalizes on a near no goal for Drexel. Comes the other way, and Ty Kurtz knocks it in.
Well, Ty Kurtz doesn't look worried at all during this entire sequence, even when the defenders got him tied up. He's got a good check on his stick. Typical Canadian. Able to hold on to the ball despite a pretty solid stick check, and then it's in the right place at the right time. The ball bounces back into his stick. He's going to finish from that position anytime.
You talk Canadians and the dominance that Ty Kurtz unleashed last week in that win over Fairfield, scoring 10 points, 7 goals, 3 assists. It was the most points scored by a Delaware player since 2010, Curtis Dixon, who is tearing up the box game with the Calgary Roughnecks.
Sure, one of the legends in the game.
9.5 minutes left. Drexel cut the deficit 3-1 early in the game. It was 3-2. And since, Delaware has kept, at the bare minimum, a 2-goal lead. It was 10-8 at the start of the third. Drexel scored the first 2 goals of the third frame. Bowering is getting bottled up by Sider. You've been impressed with him today, 23 in the blue and yellow. Haynes has variant.
Those are your unsung heroes.
No doubt. Mulcahy crisscrosses in on the corkscrew. Varian found him. He just couldn't handle the pass. Haynes down to the field, colliding with Marshall King. Haynes does not look good. Takes a hard hit. He's all right. They call it a blue-collar league for a reason.
King with some good physical play there. Little bit from behind. Close. He's got to be careful about standing over another player, though. They're going to call that kind of stuff pretty tight. He hangs out there for another second. Drexel can't afford any penalties like that right now. They've got to play really smart ball from here on out.
Delaware's committed 5 penalties, Drexel 3. Beat up the field. Nicely done, DeSimone, the two-way midfielder, hones it in for the Blue Hens, and in a situation up 4, 8 minutes to go, you start thinking about bleeding clock if you're Ben DeLuca.
Yeah, certainly getting full possessions. You don't want to play on your heels, though, either. You know, you got a team that operates well playing fast-paced ball, so when those opportunities are there, you take them.
How hard do you think it is for 18 to 22-year-old kids to understand that balance?
I think at any age, right?
Right.
It's,
well, I'm making it specific for this game, right?
They want to go, particularly this team. They want to go to the goal.
Right.
Right.
And it's
so
working.
It's very hard to slow those guys down.
One of Delaware's best goals of the game was in transition. Kurtz, Isley, and Kitchen all involved on the play. Scrum at midfield. Sean Quinn, the sophomore, pushes to Matt Klingus, senior captain.
Nice job by Drexel to clean up that clear, save possession.
Sort of the same recipe as the last 2 games for the Blue Hens. 16 goals at Michigan, 15 goals at Fairfield. Another caused turnover by Austin Haynes, and getting elite play in the goal. Matt DeLuca has 12 saves, 2 short of his season average.
Great slide by Owen Grant here. Coming across solid.
81 in the blue and yellow, just a freshman from Newmarket, Ontario.
You don't see those Canadians on the defensive side of the ball very much. Owen making some noise for Ontario.
Well, it's very easy to look at Bowering and King on the Drexel side and admire the ball movement, the offensive pedigree of the Canadian box game, but defensively, there is high IQ north of the border.
You have to play against those guys, right?
Right.
You're bound to get better.
Under 6 minutes left. Delaware taking its time. Finnegan skips it. Ward into Isley, aiming for goal number 4. Still 19 to shoot. And a multitude of whistles just to reset the shot clock.
It looked like there's equipment issue.
Broken stick, chopped right in half. Use it for the firewood later. It is a nice day in Philadelphia. Temperatures in the 60s. Pretty soon it will be bonfire weather. Chipped out, nicely done by Farrell, the long stick defensive midfielder. Drexel, if it has a run in him, needs it to start right now. Friedman into Bowering. Flag comes in on Owen Grant.
It's a green light for Bowering.
And he scores. number 4 for Reed Bowering. Down to 3.
Well, before that flag even hit the ground, Bowering knew he was going to the rack. Right, that's a free look for him. You want the ball in his stick. Just great power. Just getting over the top. That's the kind of play that Owen Grant's going to be able to grow into to defend. Right now, it's just Bowering's just too big of a presence, too big of a body to slow down.
7 goals in the last 2 games for the junior from Coquitlam, British Columbia. You feel not only was the mindset of Bowering to be overpowering, but there was also a level of defeat in the mind of Grant when that flag was thrown up in the air. He is just a freshman. And despite the 4 goals for Bowering, Owen Grant's been fun to watch. We saw a cause turnover on the previous possession defensively.
Well, I think Owen Grant's going to be a player in this league.
Good
Certainly
size.
getting some good great size, getting some good time this year with the Blue Hens.
Yeah, star for the Toronto Beaches of the Ontario Junior A Lacrosse League. 4.5 left. Drexel got possession off the faceoff. In deep, Varian tiptoeing. Tried to posterize it upper corner, but crease violation. DeLuca gets some help. Only 4.5 more minutes. Matt DeLuca takes his time to clear the ball. Oh my God, what a find over the top. A dime of a feed to Auersler. Again, you only get 20 seconds to clear the ball of that 80-second shot clock rule that was implemented before the 2019 season. DeLuca showing his awareness. He is just a junior. And he's had some help today. Offensively, this Delaware team has come on strong in the last 3 games, including today. Six different goal scorers for Delaware. Kitchen, ill-advised feed, picked off by Klingus. As we approach 3:20 to go in regulation. Hurley, the shot. It is wide and secured by Varian.
Cam Harris creating more transition with his speed there.
Senior from New Canaan, Connecticut. 2-time Connecticut state champion when he competed at Fairfield Prep. He actually attended Fairfield Prep with Delaware closed defender Steven Tatura, who hails from Fairfield. Mulcahy bottled up. Prior to that, Sider and Nick Fox, 7 and 23 getting into it. Drexel down by 3, 2:50 left. Brian Volker uses a timeout. Wednesday nights on Lax Sports Network, it's CAA Press Pass. We will bring you all the latest news and notes from around the conference and prepare you for the biggest games of the week. CAA Press Pass on Lax Sports Network is every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Brendan Glasheen with Malcolm Chase, 4th quarter. Delaware is 1-0 in the conference. Drexel is 0-1. Blue Hens in position to go to 2-0. And the Dragons in jeopardy of dropping to 0-2. Again, as we had a look at scores earlier, all the 1-0 teams currently sitting in a position to go to 2-0 to create some separation. I don't know. I mean, Towson, of course, has proven over a long period of time it is the team to beat in the conference overall, big picture. UMass came on the scene last year when Towson was down a bit offensively. When you look at Delaware, and Malcolm, you've seen Delaware now play a few times this season. Should the Blue Hens hold on and win this one, is it fair now that maybe Delaware's got a shot at giving those two teams, UMass and Towson, a run for their money?
Oh, I think it's completely fair, but it all comes down to the game plan, right? Who's going to execute on game day? And I think there were times in this game where, I think Coach DeLuca would be pretty upset. I think we saw him visibly upset a couple of times where they weren't executing, and that's going to be the difference, especially if you got some younger players in the mix, right? Against teams maybe like Towson that might have a little bit more experience on the field. They're certainly in the conversation, no question, and I think it starts between the pipes and moves outward from there. And but they can score, and they can score in bunches.
Talking to Coach DeLuca earlier in the week, I asked him the difference between year 2 compared to year 1. He's in his second year as the head coach since taking over for Bob Shillinglaw. He said the focus of this group has been internal, meaning he's really honed in his group. It's become easier to deliver messages as a coach in my second season. It was new for me last year to get through to the guys, and now that I have their trust, there's a very focused group on hand. And Delaware creates a turnover against Drexel out of that timeout by Brian Volker. Shot clock's going to dwindle to 60 seconds and 2:15 on the game clock.
And now Drexel really has to step out and take some chances here, and that opens the door to a Delaware offense that's going to be able to capitalize if they don't land some of these home run checks.
DeSimone with the spin. He can take it down to about 1 minute, 10 seconds in regulation. This Drexel defense has been on the field a bunch since the start of the contest. And that's even considering Jimmy Koita and his ability to win faceoffs. Delaware is going to use a timeout with 90 seconds flat to go in the contest. Ben DeLuca not taking any gambles, trying to secure this W. Our next CAA game of the week comes tomorrow, Sunday. The Towson Tigers travel south for a conference matchup on the women's side against the defending national champion, number 11, James Madison Dukes. It is an old school conference rivalry as these two teams have combined to win the last 11 CAA championships. A CAA rivalry game, noon Eastern, Sunday, only on Lax Sports Network. What is the message, Malcolm, from Ben DeLuca to his team? 18 seconds on the shot clock.
Well,
mistake-free lacrosse?
Certainly take care of the ball. I saw Jack Farrell kind of honing in there on DeSimone and actually landed kind of a nice little backhand wrap on him. But, Farrell's such a strong guy, actually kind of took him to the ground, caught him off balance. But certainly the message, smart ball, take care of the lacrosse ball. And they still got 18 seconds here. So if they bleed it, they could attempt to go to the goal if they're forced to do that. I think Drexel is going to force them to have to do that right now and step out and apply pressure.
Just saw Ben DeLuca's resume since taking over as the head coach. He, of course, spent time at Cornell for 3 seasons as the head coach. He sort of reestablished his pedigree in the sport in his 2 years at Harvard as the associate head coach. Very exciting for him. 3 to shoot for Isley. Bounce shot goes in. Joe Isley, the senior captain, came to play on the road. A season-high 5th goal of the game.
Isley, such a great shooter. These guys really love their jump shots.
Especially him.
More power to him. He's obviously worked on it. He's got great rotation on that shot. Awesome placement. Just putting it out of the goalie's reach.
He has scored a third of Delaware's goals, 5 of the 15. And that's been the magic number for the Blue Hens. Make it 3 straight games with at least 15 goals. There was an interference penalty Flag came in. 30 seconds. 30-second penalty against Delaware. And to your point about Ben DeLuca's outlook of this one and the outlook of the conference and how Delaware sits, you can't commit 7 penalties and get away with it. Drexel scores. Another one goes down for Reed Bowering. That is his 5th of the day.
This is not over. This is possible. It's been done. This type of comeback. Body language and the energy of Drexel right now, they're pretty spent from having to chase the Blue Hens all over the field up to this point. It's going to be a tough go. They can win this face-off. They've got a chance.
Jimmy Koita has won 18 of 29 face-offs. Koita comes away with it. A triangle forms defensively by Delaware. Ryan Shaw shoves down Grippo, and that might be a roughing flag here against Ryan Shaw.
But we just had a loose ball push there. The flag certainly favors Drexel, who's been so great on their extra man opportunities today. Oh. It's loose here. I don't know, Brandon. That's within, you got another one.
Here we go. Chris McClellan with his 3rd goal of the season.
I think that was a little bit of a gift to the Dragons, to be perfectly frank. On that previous play, it looked like good physical play within 5 yards of the ball. Nonetheless, Drexel capitalizes. They've been so good on extra man today. Nice little pump fake to the backside by Varian, just to get the defense to hold just that extra second to make some room for McClellan on the backside. Excuse me, on that same side for that float.
Just 1 goal in the last 4 minutes for Delaware, so suddenly the Dragons of Drexel have scored 3 of the last 4. Another key face-off. Koita pulls away with it.
Koita's gonna need some help here.
Lenz Cole, the sophomore, or rather that's Shaw who took the face-off. Koita, time winding down, 25 seconds. A must-score situation for the Dragons. Time still whittling down. And it's ripped away by Jason Sider. This can ice it for the Blue Hens. Kitchen is going to hold on. Delaware, 4th straight game overall on the road. And the Blue Hens are 2-0 in CAA play. Both wins on the road at Fairfield and this afternoon at Drexel. It got a little chippy and a little close at the end, but Delaware holds on.
As it will.
15-13 is the final score from Vitus Field in Philadelphia. All right, so once again, Delaware wins 15-13. 2-0 in the conference. Drexel is now 0-2. Thanks for watching the CAA Game of the Week on Lax Sports Network. For Malcolm Chase, our producer Dylan Hand, and the entire crew, I'm Brendan Glasheen. Our next CAA Game of the Week is tomorrow. The Towson women travel south to face the defending champion James Madison. But right now, we send it back to the LSN Broadcast Center.